Welcome to Speaking English Academy. Speaking Practice.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Speaking English Academy podcast. I'm Emma, and I am so excited for today's episode. We are talking about something that is a game changer, not just for learning a language, but for life in general. Setting and achieving your goals. And I'm not alone. I have a fantastic guest with me today, the one and only Sam, a productivity coach who's practically a wizard when it comes to turning dreams into reality. Sam, it's so great to have you here.
Emma, thanks for having me. I'm thrilled to be here and chat with your listeners. It's a topic I'm incredibly passionate about.
Awesome. Let's get straight into it. Many of our listeners are trying to improve their English, but it feels like this huge, overwhelming task. They say, I want to be fluent. But that's a bit like saying, I want to be a millionaire. It sounds good, but how do you actually start?
You've hit on the most important point. I want to be fluent isn't a goal. It's a wish. The first and most critical step is to be specific. So, instead of a vague wish, turn it into a concrete target. A better goal would be, I will be able to talk for 10 minutes about my favorite movie without a script by December 31st. See the difference?
Oh, absolutely. It's like having a GPS location instead of just a city name. You know exactly where you're going. So, you're saying a good goal needs to be more than just a dream.
Precisely. That's where the SMART framework comes in. It's an acronym that helps you make sure your goals are solid. S is for specific. We just covered this. Be precise. M is for measurable. How will you know when you've done it? For English, this could be learning 50 new words a month, or passing an online grammar test with an 80% score. A is for achievable. Be realistic. If you're a beginner, don't set a goal to pass a professional exam in a month. You'll just get discouraged. R is for relevant. Why does this goal matter to you? If you're learning for a new job, focus on relevant vocabulary. If it's for travel, focus on useful phrases. T is for time-bound. Set a deadline. A goal without a deadline is just a fantasy. It gives you that necessary kick to get started and keep going.
Okay, so SMART goals are the foundation, but let's be real, life gets in the way. People start strong and then hit a wall. What happens then?
Ah, yes. The dreaded motivation slump. It happens to everyone. The biggest hurdle is forgetting your why. When things get tough, you have to go back to your core motivation. Is it to travel the world? To get a promotion? To feel more confident in social situations? Write that reason down. Put it on a sticky note on your computer. When you're tired and don't want to practice, look at it. Let that why fuel you.
That makes so much sense. It's about remembering the bigger picture. But what about the setbacks? When you make a mistake in a conversation, or your progress feels too slow.
That's an inevitable part of the journey. When you have a bad day, don't see it as a failure. See it as data. Okay, I stumbled over those specific verbs. I need to practice them more. Setbacks aren't roadblocks. They're signposts telling you where to focus next. The most important thing is to tell yourself, progress, not perfection. It's okay to stumble. The only real failure is giving up.
Progress, not perfection. I love that. It takes so much pressure off. So, on a practical note, what are some daily habits that can help our listeners stay on track? Something they can do right now?
Absolutely. This is where the magic happens. Don't try to change your entire life at once. Take your big, smart goal and break it down into tiny, almost ridiculously small, daily habits. If your goal is to read a book in English in 3 months, your daily habit could be to read just 1 page, or even just 1 paragraph. It's so easy you can't say no. Other ideas. Listen to a 5-minute English news report while you brush your teeth. Write 1 sentence in a journal before you go to bed. Learn 1 new vocabulary word a day. These are tiny, easy wins. They take 5 minutes, but they build momentum.
So it's about consistency over intensity. The famous little and often approach.
Exactly. And to make it even more fun, track your progress. Grab a calendar and put a big X on it every day you complete your small habit. You'll start to see a chain of X's, and you won't want to break that chain. It's a small psychological trick, but it's incredibly powerful. You're visually seeing your progress, and that feels good.
This has been incredibly helpful and so inspiring. Sam, I feel like I want to go and set a new goal right now. For our listeners, let's quickly recap. Use the SMART framework to make your goals clear and actionable. Remember your why to stay motivated when things get tough. Break big goals into small daily habits and make them non-negotiable. Track your progress to see how far you've come.
And remember, the best time to start is right now. You don't need a fancy app or a new notebook. Just decide on 1 tiny thing you'll do today to move a little closer to your goal.
The best time to start is right now. I love that. So, Sam, we've laid the groundwork. But what happens when you've done everything right? You've got your goal. You know your why, but you still can't seem to take the first step. It's a very common feeling.
That feeling, that moment of resistance, is where the real work begins. Often, it's not a logical problem. It's an emotional one. We talked briefly about the fear of failure. But there's a deeper, more subtle reason: task aversion. We just don't want to do the task because it's hard, boring, or unfamiliar. We need to trick our brains into getting started.
So, it's about making the start so small and easy that you can't say no.
Exactly. That's where the 5-minute rule becomes your best friend. But let's add a twist to it for a long-term goal like learning a language. When you sit down to study, don't just say, "I'll do it for 5 minutes." Instead, say, "I will only work on this one specific, tiny part for 5 minutes." Maybe it's just reviewing 3 flashcards. The task is so small that your brain doesn't have time to build up that feeling of aversion. It's like a warm-up for your mind.
The unseen enemy, the fear of being good enough. That makes so much sense. I want to talk more about something we touched on before: perfectionism. I know so many of our listeners struggle with this. They're terrified of making a mistake, of not sounding perfect, so they just don't speak at all. How do we break free from that mindset?
It's one of the most crippling obstacles. Perfectionism is really just the fear of being judged, disguised as a desire for high quality. The solution isn't to lower your standards. It's to change your definition of what a mistake is. In the context of learning English, a mistake isn't a failure. It's an investment. Every time you say something wrong, you're learning what you need to fix.
That's a powerful shift in perspective.
Right? So instead of being afraid of mistakes, you should be seeking them out. I call this deliberate practice. Deliberate practice is intentionally doing the things you're bad at, on purpose, to get better. For example, if you know you struggle with a specific verb tense, you should create a drill where you only use that verb tense and try to use it 100 times, even if you know you'll make a lot of errors. That's a productive use of your time, and it teaches your brain that mistakes are not something to be feared. They're just part of the process.
Building your fortress of habit. We've talked about consistency, but let's break down the science of it a bit more. What's the secret to making a new practice stick and becoming a real habit?
The secret lies in understanding the habit loop. Every habit has 3 parts. The cue. This is the trigger. It could be a time of day, a location, or an emotion. For example, when I finish dinner, the routine. This is the action itself. I will practice my English. The reward. This is the positive feeling you get. I will feel a sense of accomplishment and progress. To make an English learning habit stick, you have to engineer these 3 parts. Your cue could be something you already do every day, like brushing your teeth. The routine is your 5-minute practice. And the reward is a moment of self-congratulation, or even a small, enjoyable activity afterward. When you consciously build these loops, your new habit becomes automatic, and you don't need willpower anymore.
So it's about stacking a new habit onto an old one, and then rewarding yourself. I love that. And I guess a big part of that reward is celebrating those small wins.
Absolutely. This is so crucial. We're so focused on the big goal that we forget to celebrate the small victories along the way. Did you manage to read a whole page of an English book today? Did you have a short conversation with a friend in English? Did you learn 5 new words? Celebrate that. Tell yourself, great job. That rush of positive emotion, that little bit of dopamine, is what motivates your brain to keep going. It's the fuel that keeps the habit engine running.
Listener questions and practical application. We've received so many questions from our listeners, and I want to get to a few of them. Sam, are you ready for a little rapid-fire Q&A?
Ready as I'll ever be. Let's go.
Okay, first one. David asks, how do I deal with the "I'll do it tomorrow" voice in my head?
Great question, David. That's the voice of procrastination. A simple trick: time travel. Imagine your future self tomorrow and how they'll feel if you haven't done the task. They'll be stressed and unhappy. Now, imagine how they'll feel if you just do it for 5 minutes today. They'll be relieved and grateful. Make a choice to help your future self.
I love that. Okay, next one from Maria. I live alone and have no one to practice with. How can I get accountability?
Maria, you can create a social contract with yourself. Tell a friend or family member about your goal. Every night, send them a quick message saying whether you completed your practice or not. You're not asking them for anything, just holding yourself accountable to someone else. It works wonders.
And finally, a question from a listener named John. I get distracted so easily. How can I create a better study environment?
John, you have to design your environment for success. Before you sit down to study, put your phone in another room. Close all unnecessary tabs on your computer. Make sure you have your water, notebook, and pen all ready. This takes a few minutes, but it eliminates the constant pull of distractions and makes focusing much easier.
Sam, this has been so incredibly insightful. From setting goals to building habits and tackling the mental game, you've given us a complete toolkit. Thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure, Emma. And to all your listeners, remember, you are building a habit, and every single step you take is a win. Be kind to yourself and celebrate your progress.
We'll be back next week with another episode. Goodbye for now.
Like, share, and subscribe our channel.